This song, for those of you who are not too familiar, is called Foggy Mountain Breakdown, one of the most popular banjo tunes ever written.
Good to see you all today, and I think it's altogether fitting that we gather on days like this to remember that the birthing of this nation didn't just occur on a July 4th over 200 years ago with the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It was many other days and events like April 19th of 1775 and many others that brought the people of that day to a point where they knew, as many had known for years in their hearts, that they needed to form a new nation. But upon the passage of the Constitution, I think it was Ben Franklin who said, now that we've given the American people a republic, let's see if they can keep it. And we today are here gathered to see if we can keep the republic that our founding fathers and mothers provided for us.
Historically, Patriots Day commemorates both the spirit and the action of Americans to resolve the age-old dilemma of liberty versus slavery. What our forefathers gave birth to was not just a military revolution. It was a revolutionary idea that governments should serve the people and not the other way around. The Constitution, and in particular the Bill of Rights, was born out of a tax revolt associated with an attempted gun confiscation that occurred on this date in 1775. Today is the 234th commemoration of this event, where average folks, businessmen, workers, farmers, and clergy picked up a rifle and said no to English stimulus packages and royal bailouts. And around us today are patriots who gave as much in France, the Philippines, in Afghanistan, Iraq, and last week in Somalia, and did so quietly, without asking for recognition and without asking for handouts or bailouts. Hear, hear.
Having a balanced budget is not about some abstraction. It's not about telling you the numbers. It's not about explaining $1 trillion. Having a balanced budget is about having a moral heart and saying, it's unfair for me to make other people pay for my folly. My favorite president, Ronald Wilson Reagan. His best line, he would come on and in his own inimitable fashion, he would say, Congress is worse than drunk sailors. They spend money like drunk sailors. And then he'd step back. His timing was always impeccable. He'd step back and he'd get that look like, wait a minute, I thought that over. And he says, wait, I want to apologize to the drunk sailors. Drunk sailors spend their own money. Congress is spending your money.
How many of you would say you're pro-gun? I can't hear you. Are you pro-gun? One more time. Are you pro-gun? I'd like to suggest a change to that, because our opposition on the left kills us with words. And if you hate guns, like many of them do, then the right position is to be anti-gun. And if you say you're pro-gun, that makes you the devil to our opposition. I think the better choice of words is that you are pro-rights. You are all pro-rights. You're pro-freedom, pro-safety, pro-liberty, pro-self-defense. And what does that make them? Anti-rights, and anti-safety, and anti-liberty, and anti-freedom. And that's not what we need in America. So the next time somebody asks you, are you pro-gun, what are you going to say? I'm pro-rights. I am pro-rights. How about you?
We know from the beginning words of the Declaration that these are not rights granted to us by government. They're rights granted to us inalienable by Almighty God. And so the question still remains for us today in 2009. Will we keep a republic that so many gave their lives for? Starting with the 90 Americans who gave their life on April the 19th, 1775 in Lexington and Concord. I hope that our answer individually and collectively is that yes, we can keep a republic and we can honor the sacrifices of those that have gone before and pass on a better United States of America for those that come after us.
What is America? And I don't think that's a question that can be answered very easily, because America is as many things as there are people to answer the question. It's a complex topic. The American way is hard work, and the American way is keeping the benefits of your hard work. It's ownership of private property and the sanctity of a contract. It's the idea that you and you alone own the fruits of your labors. It's an idea of paramount importance that you own yourself, self-ownership. Self-ownership. You and you alone are responsible for you. This isn't a right you demand or get from the state or earn. It's a fundamental right based on the fact that you exist. It's a right that comes from your Creator. It's the natural order of things. And it's honored here like nowhere else.
Now, you need to leave here today proselytizing. You need to leave here today balancing your own books emotionally, spiritually, and physically. You need to leave here with the strength internal to yourself and the commitment that you'll go to the Creator for help, because you cannot stand up against the forces of evil without that commitment. You have to leave here and preach the gospel of freedom. There are people in this audience who gave their best friends, who gave parts of their own bodies to fight for freedom all over the world.
He started crawling, and the guys off to the side were throwing rocks in front of him so they can light off all the mines. It was going too slow for Sylvester. He pulled up his 6-gun, so to speak, and he started running again, and he threw those grenades, but he stepped on a landmine and blew off both of his legs. As he crawled with those bloody stumps, as he crawled, he kept on firing and throwing grenades when he could, until we overflanked him and took him over. That's a hero in there for you. Over there in that gazebo is history, and you all are a part of it. And if you don't go inside that gazebo right there and see what's in there, y'all should be ashamed. I'm going to tell you right up. Y'all should be ashamed. There's heroes in there. There's heroes all around you. You got 2 Silver Star recipients that are in there with them. Their remains were found in coffee cans with duct tape on the front with their names on them. 2 Silver Star recipients. If you don't go in that gazebo, there's something wrong. Y'all are preaching about being Americans and everything else, and all about the country and everything else and all about the politicians and whatever, if you don't go in there, something's wrong.
Or stand with